Okay guys, so today's G-Block session is going to be about the use of logarithms in biology. Now this is math scale 2.5, and if you look at the AQA specification, you'll find all the math skills that you require at the end of that. It's also in the maths booklet that you've got. So we're really going to use a logarithmic scale or logarithms in relation to microbiology, and it's going to be to do with the growth of bacteria or yeast, some type of microorganism, where we get a very big range in values from the lowest number in the data set to the biggest number in the data set. Okay, so we know we're going to use a log scale when we've got a large range in values from the minimum value in the data set all the way up to the much bigger maximum value. So if the difference between the minimum and the maximum values is very big, what we can do is convert the values into a log value. So in the exams, you often see the question, why would you use a log scale? And it's not because we've got big numbers, but it's because we've got a very big difference between the smallest number and the biggest number in a data set. So if you guys just learn the general equation on the left, so this is the logarithm or the log of the number in red, which is going to be a bigger number, and that's going to give us a much smaller number. So an example of this, and you can do it on your calculator, is if we had a value of 100 and we went log to the base 10 of 100, that would give us a value of 2. So it's basically saying 10 to the power 2 would give us 100. So whatever the big value is that you want to convert to a log number, you press the log button on your calculator, which is log to the base 10, with that big number in red, and that will give you the smaller number. Okay, so we've got a big number that we want to convert to a smaller number, and it's going to be log to the base 10 of 100 will give us 2. Another example might be log to the base 10 of 1,000 would give us 3, or log to the base 10 of 10,000 would give us 4, because 10 to the power 4 is 10,000. So if you look at the equation on the right hand side, okay, I've got log to the base 10 of 100 is 2, which is the same as saying 10 to the power 2 is going to give you that large number, which is the 100. If it was log to the base 10 of 1,000, that would give us a log value of 3, which is the same as saying 10 to the power 3 would give us 1,000. If it was log to the base 10 of 10,000, that would give us a smaller number of 4, which is 10 to the power 4 equals 10,000. So the values in our data set, imagine we had 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and a million. So there's a very big range between the smallest value, which is 100, and the largest value, which is a million. So we can see there's a very big difference between the smallest and the biggest number in the data set. Well, we know 100 is 10 to the power 2. We know 1,000 is 10 to the power 3, 10,000 is 10 to the power 4, etc. until we get to our biggest value, which is a million, which is 10 to the power 6. So if we used a log scale, we could convert these big numbers into smaller logarithmic numbers. So if we had 100, log to the base 10 of 100 will give you 2. So it's like saying 10 to the power 2 gives you 100. So the log of 100 is 2. If we had the log to the base 10 of 1,000, that would give us a value of 3. So that's like saying 10 to the power 3 is 1,000. Likewise, log to the base 10 of 10,000 is 4. So it's really saying 10 to the power 4 would give us 10,000. So you can see hopefully on the right hand side in green, we've got a set of values which are the log values of these numbers on the left. And the range between the smallest number and the biggest number of our log values is a lot smaller compared to the raw numbers that we started with on the very left hand side. Now it doesn't have to be 100, 1,000, 10,000. We could get a data set obviously with slightly different numbers. So it might be 57 bacteria, 1,561 bacteria, 12,587 bacteria, etc. But we can still see that of these 6 data values at the bottom, there's a big range from 57, which is the minimum, up to 112,990, which is the maximum. There's a big difference between the minimum and the maximum values. So if we wanted to use a log scale, we just go log to the base 10 of 57 would give us 1.76. Log to the base 10 of 1,561 would give us a value of 3.19. Log to the base 10 of 12,587 would give us a log value of 4.10. And then you can work out the others yourself. So log to the base 10 of 112,990 would give us a value of 5.05. So hopefully you guys can see that it would be very difficult to plot the data set on the left from 57 up to 112,990 on the linear scale. We're going to use a log scale to convert these numbers into a log number. And we can see hopefully it's very easy to plot 1.76, 3.19, 4.10, 4.37 and 5.05 on a log scale, and that would go on the y-axis. Now, usually we're going to use log to the base 10, but we can also use a slightly different log value of log to the base 2, and that's when we're going to have 2 to the power of a certain number. So if we had 2 to the power 1, that would give us 2, 2 to the power 2 would give us 4, 2 to the power 3 would give us 8, etc. So if we use log to the base 2, we take that number, so take that number of 2, so log to the base 2 of 2 will give us 1. If we had 64 at the bottom, log to the base 2 of 64 would give us 6. So it's saying 2 to the power 6 is equal to 64. So we can see there is a bit of a range here from 2 up to 64. We could convert these to log numbers. So log to the base 2 of 2 is 1. Log to the base 2 of 64 is 6. And then we could plot these numbers in green on our y-axis. So again, we can use log to the base 2 here. Just be a bit careful with the calculator. There is a button that says log to the base x, and you can specify what x is. The log button is normally log to the base 10, but you can change the log number by using this button here, log to the base x. So log to the base 2 of 64 is 6, which is really like saying 2 to the power 6 will give you this bigger number of 64. Okay, so we start with 64 bacteria, and log to the base 2 of that number will give us a smaller number of 6. So this is applicable when we've got bacteria and how they divide by binary fission. So every bacterial cell, once it divides by binary fission, it's going to make 2 genetically identical bacteria. So if you know the number of replications or divisions, we can actually work out the number of bacteria that we should have. So if you start with a single bacterial cell, and there's, for example, 6 divisions, we can use this equation 2 to the power n. So we could go 2 to the power 6, and that will give us the number of bacteria that we have in our culture. Okay, so that's 64. So the way to work out the numbers of bacteria after a certain number of replications or divisions is 2 to the power n. So if there were 2 divisions, for example, it would be 2 to the power 2, and then we'd have 4 bacteria. If there were 3 divisions, we'd have 2 to the power 3, and that will give us 8 bacteria. So this is a way of working out bacterial numbers after a certain number of replications. Now, please note that if you want to calculate how many bacteria will be present after a given number of replications, we are going to use this formula that we just said. So 2 to the power x, where x is the number of divisions. We use 2 because obviously we know that 2 cells are being produced from every single cell by binary fission. So I would also learn the definition of binary fission. So it's basically where the circular DNA in the bacteria replicates by semi-conservative replication of DNA using DNA helicase and DNA polymerase. We get extension of the cytoplasm and the bacterial cell wall, so the cell gets longer, and then we get cytoplasmic division, where two genetically identical bacteria are produced. Now, if we wanted to find the number of divisions that had occurred, given the number of bacteria present, we need log to the base 2 of the number of bacteria, and that would give us the smaller value on the right hand side here, which is the number of divisions. So if we had 64 bacteria, we'd go log to the base 2 of 64, and that would give us 6 replications or 6 divisions. So the larger number is in red, and that's the number of bacteria present. Log to the base 2 will give us the number of replications by binary fission. Now, please be aware that in the exams, they will give you the log value to use. So it could be log to the base 2, or it could be log to the base 10. The default, have to say, is normally log to the base 10, and that is just a log button on your calculator. So let's just have a quick look at this example. If you want to pause the video and do it yourself, that's okay. So we've got the time here. So each bacterium replicates after every 20 minutes or so. And we've got the population size in the middle column. So let's just have a look. We could fill in the numbers here because we know the bacteria duplicate every 20 minutes. Obviously, you can see there's 100 bacteria to start with, and then we've got 2.6 million bacteria, okay, at the end of the experiment. So that's a huge range in values. So we can't plot that on the linear scale on the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis goes up the left. The x-axis goes at the bottom or across the bottom. So what we're going to do is use log to the base 10 here, which is the default log button. And we're going to convert the population size or the population number into a log number. So log to the base 10 of 100 is just 2. Okay, so this is the lag phase here, where there isn't an increase in population number. But then we can see all of a sudden the population number starts to go up from 200 to 400 to 800 to 1600 to 3200 to 6400. So we're going to convert these bigger numbers into a log number. So it's just log of that big number. And then we can see that the final value, okay, will be 6.41. So now we've got log numbers where the minimum value in the data set is 2 and the maximum value in the data set is 6.41. And then we can plot these on the log scale on the y-axis. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see once we've plotted that data, okay, we get the exponential phase of growth, which is between 2 hours and 5 hours. That's where we get a rapid increase in bacterial numbers. Now we can actually work out population increase, okay, per hour by finding the difference between, okay, the log numbers after 2 hours and the log number after 5 hours. So if you find out the log number, which is 2.6 here, and I think it's 5.1. So we can convert the log number back into the big population number, and then we can find the difference in population number over those 3 hours. So it's actually 5.3, sorry. If you convert 5.3 as the log number back into the big number, all you've got to do, if you have a look at the yellow at the bottom, is 10 to the power that number. So if we had 5.3 as our log number off the y-axis, you just go 10 to the power 5.3, and that will give you the actual number of bacteria. So if you look here, I've actually converted that, where I've circled this bit. So 5.3 is the log number. So to get back to the big number, it's 10 to the power 5.3, and that will give you 2.04 times 10 to the power 5. If the log number is 2.6, we can convert that back to the big number by 10 to the power 2.6, and that gives us 3.98 times 10 to the power 2. So we subtract the two numbers, and that gives us the number of bacteria increased over 3 hours, and we can divide by 3 to get the number of bacteria per hour. So we've just worked out the increase in population number per hour by reading off the log numbers at the hours that we were given, so between 2 and 5 hours, and we've converted the log number back into the original population number by going 10 to the power of that log number.